family, I would like to thank you for being here today to say goodbye to him and to celebrate his life. Like Jean said, I'm Ruby Winnings, and back in the day, I too was an outlaw in the Moline clan. I'm thankful that I stayed friends with this great group of people, Susie and all the kids. In visiting with people this week, it's been very evident that Warner made a big difference in their lives by just being present, having good conversations, and offering his love and support in many, many ways. He was born June 22nd in 1947 to Warner Sr. and Ann. He was the third of 6 kids. Baptized on June 29th that same year, and he grew up on the family farm with Betty, Patty, Rosie, David, and Bruce. His first communion was May 1st, 1955, and he was confirmed in 1957. When I visited with Rosie this week, we talked about a few of the memories her and her siblings recalled of growing up together. Warner enjoyed living on the farm. With Warner Sr. and Ann working outside of the house, everyone was expected to help with all the chores. They remembered picking corn on the land behind the house by hand, which seemed like quite the task when they were kids. After outside chores were done, the boys even had to help in the kitchen, so that's where Warner learned how to cook. At times, he took the easy way out, and he made hot dogs or sloppy joes when it was his turn. They also recalled how Warner liked to sleep, and he could sleep almost anywhere, including the one time that they found him sleeping in the outhouse. Warner and David built a hut out back, and they camped together often, which was great bonding time between their brothers. The family took annual camping trips to Hackensack with their neighbors, the Wilsons, which everyone enjoyed. A favorite memory of the siblings is that Christmas time. They would be all outside helping their dad finish up the chores, and then when they were headed back to the house, they would see their mom, and she'd be out front waving goodbye to Santa. They never seemed to be able to catch that jolly old guy themselves. But fond memories of beautiful Christmases spent together as a family. Warner graduated from Jordan High School in 1965, and he joined the Navy. Rosie recalled that the ship oversaw bringing home the servicemen who paid the ultimate sacrifice, and that though Warner never knew who he was bringing home, he felt honored to bring them back to their families. Tammy remembered that her dad talked about kitchen chores while he was serving on the ship, and he brought his mom back some pearls and a set of china from Japan, which Tammy now has as a special keepsake. Susie and Warner met through her brothers, Mike and Dick. They were married on July 2nd, 1976, and from day one, Warner loved and accepted Susie's 4 kids, Rick, Brenda, Bob, and John, as part of his family. They all loved Warner as well, and I'm sure that they didn't appreciate that as young adults, as they do now. They each count him as a huge blessing in their life. Rick spoke this week about how he gave Warner a hard time when he first started dating Susie and marrying her, and he thought he was being probably overly protective of his mom. He knew Warner as a family friend through Dick, and he had spent a lot of time around him. He also spoke about how Warner always treated the 4 of them just like his own. Tammy came along in 1977 and Tim in 1982, and both have wonderful, wonderful memories of growing up with special time spent with their dad. From watching MASH and Cheers to late nights that they got to stay up while Mom was at work, evenings spent having TV dinners as a special treat when it was Dad's turn to cook. Valentine days were always special, with waking up and finding a box of chocolates and a card, even though Warner had left for work at the crack of dawn. Both Tammy and Timmy recalled as kids going on visits on the weekends to Grandma Deutsch's and other family members, or maybe to the junkyards, and how their dad just loved to visit with others. He sure had a gift of putting people at ease and enjoying spending time with all the people that he cared about. Tim also remembered that his dad would stop down by Arnie's in the mornings when he was working, and he would just read the daily newspaper, have a Coke and some popcorn. John remembered Warner stopping by at his house to check on him after he was hurt on the job, just to make sure he was doing fine. And one of Bob's favorite memories of Warner is when they did the electrical work when he built his new house, and how many great conversations that they had and all the laughs that they shared. Brenda spoke about what a patient man he was and how he never seemed to lose his temper with the kids. That is until she decided, as a teenager, to sneak out the back door and go have some puffs with friends. And when she got back home, Warner was waiting for her at the basement door, and he like mustered up this stern voice and told her that that wasn't acceptable. Her punishment was to clean the house for her mother, and she said she never tried that again because she was afraid he'd be waiting for her at the back door. Speaking of being patient, this story's better. Rick told the story about how he got caught at 14 stealing Warner's Hoffman electric truck to go joyriding with his friends when they lived in New Prague. And he did this on multiple occasions. But one night, Warner and Susie circled back to the house for something, and they caught him in the act. Well, he got good spoken to, but Warner was overall pretty laid back about it. But really, that's how Warner was throughout his whole lifetime. Just a good guy, easygoing, and very laid back. Susie shared how much she appreciated when she would get off of work on the weekends and he'd have dinner made. He was a good cook. Spaghetti and chicken dinners were loved by all. She will also miss all the love notes that he left around the house through her entire marriage and the flirting with her all the way to the end. Warner was an electrician by trade, first working for Hoffman Electric and then Egan McKay, and he retired in 2005. Brenda shared that while she was working over at Carver County, she met a few electricians that had learned the trade from him and what a wonderful job he had done teaching them everything that they knew. One also talked about how Warner would put him on a task and then go read the morning newspaper in his truck. And always completing a crossword puzzle. They knew he was working on the crossword puzzle because he would lean on the horn filling out the puzzle. He was also known on a few occasions to be naughty, like the time that he drove on 169 with his Hoffman electric truck like he was working just to bypass the work zone. Or during the 1998 windstorm when he brought home a work generator so that they and a few of their neighbors could have electricity while the rest of us in Shakopee had to wait for the power to be restored. Tim recalled the best birthday present ever. For his 12th birthday, Warner gave him a working stoplight from a work site in Oakdale, which he has to this day, and it still shines brightly when he plugs it in. Tammy, Timmy, and Brenda reminisced about the spur of the moment, many vacations that they took to a hotel in either Faribault or Lakeville just to hang out, swim, play cards and games, and just enjoy each other's company. Of course, many, many family memories were spent at Raceway Park with Warner as part of their pit crew, or times just in the driveway getting the cars ready to go. Warner loved working on the cars and he loved spending all that time with family. He dabbled in demolition derbies as a younger man as well. We spoke about how Warner liked the back roads wherever he was traveling. There were plenty of laughter as they all recalled him gazing at everything except the road. And oh, how he loved being a papa. He was blessed with 11 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. Hunter and Piper held a special place in his heart. Tammy said at times that her and Tim would feel like chopped liver because he would say, well, don't come back to visit unless you're bringing Hunter or Piper with you. I remember when I was married to Dick, how we would go dancing into concerts with Susie and Warner, and other times we just joined around their table and we played cards and games and shared some laughs and created memories. Mary Jane also spoke about similar times that she enjoyed her and Mike with them, going to concerts, playing cards, and